Hi there, Sandra here, and welcome to another gouache brand review. Today I'm going to try Shinhan Pass paint, but this paint is a hybrid between gouache and watercolors, which I'm very intrigued by it, and I was very curious to try this paint and see how it performs. I got these tubes from Jackson Art Supplies, which you might be already familiar with this company that sells art supplies. I've ordered from them a couple of times in the recent months, and I just wanted to mention that all the supplies I got so far came in mostly plastic-free packages, like the Shinhan paint that came in this cardboard box, and like the Jackson brushes that I got a few months ago that I've been using since then, and they came in this 100% compostable cellophane bag, so I appreciate a lot sustainable packaging. I will be using these brushes in this video as well. I've been enjoying using the rigger brush size 1 from Jackson, and I've been looking for a brush that I can recommend you guys for painting fine details like I do, that is available to purchase with international shipping. Unlike my favorite small rigger brush from Ghostrifter that is available to purchase only in certain countries in Europe, the Ghostrifter brush is my favorite brush for really thin strokes and thin details, which is so easy to use, and I can't really achieve the same with the Jackson rigger brush, but if you use it carefully and if you hold the brush straight, you can still achieve thin strokes, and it's a good quality brush overall. Moreover, since it has more bristles, it holds more paint than the rigger brush from Ghostrifter, so you can paint long thin lines without interruptions, so it's pretty good and I definitely recommend it. But anyway, back to the video. So the colors I got from Shinhan Pass are Permanent Yellow, Alizarin Crimson, Raw Umber, Prussian Blue, Cobalt Blue and White. I got these colors so I have the basic colors for color mixing and to create any colors, and I also got transparent, semi-transparent and opaque colors so we can have an idea if they are opaque or not. So about this paint, we can find many informations both on the tube and on the color chart, which I will leave the link to the page in the description so you can check it out. They seems to be a legit professional quality paint, and Shinhan is a Korean brand and each tube contains 20 milliliters of paint. So I swatched the colors I got, and right away the consistency between these colors are all different. Probably is due to the color itself, but it seems like the transparent colors are more liquid and the opaque color have a thicker consistency. But I don't know how I feel about the consistency of this paint. I would expect them to have all the same consistency, or maybe because it's a hybrid between the two mediums, it's normal that they have different paint consistency. I have no idea and I'm definitely confused. And from the colors I got, some of them are definitely way too liquidy for my taste, but despite how I feel about the consistency, the paint lays down nicely and the opaque colors have a great covering power, like good quality gouache paint, especially the white, which is great. As being a watercolor hybrid, I would expect this paint to behave like watercolors when using it wet and achieve those watercolor effects, so I tested that, but my skills with watercolors aren't great, so please don't judge me. But I tried to lay down some transparent washes to show you so you can judge yourself. And this watercolors paint was given to me from Adela as a gift, and there are different good quality watercolor brands inside this metal tin. So a big thanks to her for sending me all these watercolors paint so I can properly show you a comparison. The thing is, transparent gouache washes aren't much different from watercolor washes, but to my experience, transparent washes of gouache tend to become more dull and loses some of its color vibrancy, while with watercolor washes, the color stays vibrant and you can't achieve those cool watercolor effects with gouache paint. So do you see this effect? This is exactly what I was meaning about watercolor effects. So by doing this comparison between Shinhan and watercolor washes, it seems that you get a similar watercolor effect with Shinhan Pass paint, but not as much like with watercolor paint. And Shinhan transparent washes remain pretty vibrant too, so it doesn't seem that the colors loses its vibrancy. And then once the paint dries, it looks like the transparent colors resemble watercolor the most, while the opaque colors look more like gouache paint. And the opaque colors also cracked a bit on my mixing surface, but this happens with mostly any gouache paint. But they do reactivate well, and it's interesting to see how differently each color dries. So now I'm going to do some quick paintings to try this paint, and by the color selection I got, I was inspired to paint some underwater paintings. I did 2 paintings because I wasn't very happy with the first result, but I'm not completely happy with the second either. But anyway, my thought and my personal experience while painting is that the paint has a quite slow drying time, and usually gouache is fast drying, and I didn't have enough patience to wait for the paint to dry. Sorry about that. So you will see that I messed it up in some parts and colors mixed all together. But anyway, I definitely felt like painting with a watercolor and gouache hybrid paint, but to me it felt more like gouache paint after all. It felt like watercolors for the transparent washes and the slow drying time, so the final result I achieved kind of resemble watercolor paintings, but that's also the result I was going for. But these paintings I made in particular aren't very nice looking closely, but far away they look decent, and I just apologize that these aren't my best paintings that I ever made to really show you how this paint behaves, but hopefully this video can still give you an idea of Shinhan Pass paint quality. And then it also felt like painting with gouache because the paint is pretty opaque and covering, which you can't achieve the same result with watercolors. And overall the paint lays down nicely even when overlaying more layers on top of each other, and you can also achieve nice glazing. As far as quality goes, I enjoyed using this paint and I can see myself using it in the future. Unlike other gouache paint I tried and I reviewed on my channel, and Shinhan Pass paint, it's definitely a good quality paint despite the diversity of paint consistency among these colors. But to be honest, I'm not sure to who recommend this paint, if I would recommend it to a watercolor artist or a gouache artist, or to both. But I can see someone using this paint in both ways. My guess, based on the colors I got, but I can't say for sure, since the transparent colors seems to resemble watercolors, I can imagine a watercolor artist to buy only the transparent colors and the white so that you can work with transparent washes, but add in white to get more opaque and covering washes. But that's my personal thought and opinion. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this review helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!